The S&P 500 has just done something that it's only ever done 11 times in the last 53 years, and that is that they had back-to-back 90% advancing issues. In other words, on Friday and on Monday, over 90% of S&P 500 stocks had positive returns on those given days. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's the significance of this kind of data? Well, here's the S&P 500 within 1 to 12 months after these back-to-back 90% days. And you can see within a year, for the most part, the S&P 500 has been significantly higher almost every time. So then the question we have to ask ourselves, is this time different? And I say that as somebody who is on record as being particularly bearish for the rest of this year. Does this challenge my opinion at all? I mean, honestly, I would say that there's a little bit of a challenge, but I'm, as of right now, going to remain with my bias. But of course, I'm going to let the market lead me. And as the market goes, I'm going to gather new information and take into account everything. And this is my projection for the SPY ETF over the next several months. But an invalidation of that would be a move to about $610 on the SPY. And I would be ecstatic if that's what happened. I do not want to be a bear. Perhaps, not coincidentally, we've seen 2 straight days of positive inflows with the spot Bitcoin ETFs after several weeks of pretty much hemorrhaging. In December, we had significant inflows until one day when it just stopped. And that day happened to be within a week of Bitcoin's peak at $108,000 in December. And perhaps this is a good sign on the other side of that we've had all these weeks of outflows, and maybe short term, this is a sign that sellers are exhausted. One thing that I will tell you with a great deal of certainty is that we have overreacted to the tariffs, to a lot of things Trump related. You can just pause the video and take a look at this chart and ask yourself the question, is this as scary as the great financial crisis? Is this as scary as the Twin Tower attacks? Is this 2/3 as scary as COVID? Even if you hate Trump, you need to be unbiased here. This is ridiculous. And so this is one of like a dozen different data points that I could give you that it makes sense logically to be bullish short term. And I could probably give you 2 arguments that are mostly emotionally charged as to why it makes sense to be bearish short term. But short term, I'm a bull. We'll see about the rest of this year.